Alright guys, didn't plan on streaming poker tonight, but there was a game and I figured, why the heck not? Um, I bet the horses for about like 3 or 4 hours last night. And usually I would I would bet to stream again, um, or stream again today, but that was on the schedule, but decided just to fire up some poker. And the poker's already started worse. We started with 22, a little $35 joint. Started with 22, we are down to 16. We have like a middling stack. Nothing crazy's happened yet, but we'll see how it goes. Um, Interested to see if we can get that Twitch luck again. Um, it's been kind of we've been we haven't fired away like we would hope we would recently, but that's poker, and if we can if we can get it going tonight, that'd be nice. Oh, look at this action. Oh man. Oh, it's rough. Rivered straight against aces. Yikes. And there's already been 2 eliminations, so we're down to 14 that quick. So I'm playing in a different group than the normal set of characters. I mean, there's a lot of overlap in these groups, but this one's slightly different. I haven't seen anything unusual here that would give me cause for pause. But on that same note, we haven't played. You know, we've been chill with how we've played so far. So we'll see if anyone starts playing back at us when we start to ramp up the aggression factor. All right, we got 9-10 suited here. Pretty good. Pretty good here. Do we want to defend our blind? The answer is no here. A little over 3x is just not interested. Not interested in that one. Playing out of position against this large stack. I'm gonna fold here. Oh, excuse me. Ooh, man, excuse me. Excuse me, excuse me. Easy fold here. Just to kind of go through, I've been messing around with OBS Studio, so we have the full screen webcam. Hey everybody, you can see that I have shoulders and an upper body. We have the full screen of the webcam, so basically just separating out our little scene here into 2 different parts, so you can see them, more fully, just so I can kind of alternate between those. I have the split screen between the. I usually use this for the horse betting. We have the split screen between the right down the middle, left side, right side, skinny. Made it skinny to make it fit on the screen, but we usually use that when we're doing the horse betting live stream, just so you can see the odds and then parade around, and the horses parade around while I'm going over the handicapping. I think this is something that this is what happens a lot of the time when people get the big stack at the table. It's great. Like, the big stack is wonderful. And we're going to raise this up. Big stack is wonderful. But, like, while you can play more, like, you don't necessarily just have to keep opening and raising and opening, you know, and calling because you have the big stack. Like, it's a nice thing to have, but there's no reason to start thinking you have to just suddenly take everybody out, like, especially this early. Like when you have a big stack like this early, you know, apply more pressure, yes, but don't suddenly like, you know, make hero calls or play stuff woefully out of position, or just don't. Yeah, I mean, basically, like, don't play like stupid. I mean, it sounds simple, but, you know, don't suddenly think you're, you know, invincible because, you know, you're operating with a big stack. There's still plenty of time till the money, and that means there's plenty of time to, you know, to get into trouble. Just play your stack normally, and just know that upon your normal play, you have the added benefit of being able to apply pressure much more confidently than you normally would. Oh, excuse me. It's just what you had in your hand.
What else would I have in my hand and be a traffic power? No, I stream. I'm going to the closet.
All right, so we get a, what is it? A little more than 2.5x raise here. We have 9 queen, nothing special, but we'll go ahead, we'll defend here, and we'll see a flop, and we'll see what we have to do after that. All right, so we flop 8-9-5, which is good. We like that, and we're gonna follow up with a bet here. Flop top pair. Kind of a heavy board here. Really hits me if I have 6-7 or a flush draw, which I can easily have in the big blind. And I haven't made that. One key point to making that type of call, defense, and the bet is table image. You can't make that play when you look like a loose cannon who just bets whatever. So it depends on how how your table image is at that point. Have you been shown to be kind of a tight, solid player? Yeah. Okay. Well, then fire a bullet. If you show to make like crazy raises and to just bet and call and fold with a whole bunch of nothing, then you may not get the laydowns that you're really wanting and looking for. We have 9 queens suited this time. Now we have 2 attacked behind me. We'll chill on this one. We'll fold it up. We got the Rockets. All right, and we got the big stack, so we're probably gonna want some action here. Obviously, we want action here. 625 is good. Let's make it 650. Raise it up. Big stack again. We want to see some call. We want to see some action. We get the call. And we have a really good flop here. So what we're going to do is we're probably going to bet this flop like we really want to defend, as if we don't have a club draw, and hopefully we can induce him if he has like a king of clubs or something to that effect. So we are going to re-raise with the hope he plans on getting it in over the top. And then hoping we have a big lead. If he has something like Jack King, we're really hoping, and the ace is the absolute best card we could possibly have. I mean, we have a flippin' monster here. So we want to see how we can get all the money from him. We want him to bluff. If he has nothing, we want him to play back at us and make it seem like, okay, so this is, oh, this is huge for us. I mean, so the only bet here is go all in. Anything else just seems kind of silly. If he has something callable, he's going to call us. And if he's played it this far, I'm sure he does. Unless he had like the king of clubs, which just is a terrible play. We're going to time bank this, and then we're going to go all in. The 4 pipe plays well for us. Again, if he had something... So we didn't get the end result, but I mean, if your all in is a third of the pot, uh, so yeah. I'm assuming he probably had the king of clubs. Again, we were trying to induce the re-raise bluff at all streets there, but all right, ace king offsuit. We're getting some good hands. We're getting some good action. I'm trying to like post this on Facebook, but we can't post this on Facebook because we're getting like banging good hands. So we're gonna raise it up here. Post that there. Go back to Twitter. What people are calling the old AK. We get a lot of calls here. Rainbow flop. Here's the thing, like we like our holding for sure. Like that is not a question. So the reality though is King 10, Jack Queen. Those things are in our opponent's ranges, sets, those sort of things. But of course, we have to lead out. The pot's gigantic, and we like this pot. So oh man. Good. I wasn't getting worthwhile hands, and then started live streaming, and bang, hands galore is what we're getting. Hands galore. So chipping up nicely. Now we are third in chips. Mike Center is the chip leader. What am I in the Twilight Zone? That's funny. So we'll see. We know Mike Center is one of the few people we have played in real life against. It'd be lovely to get heads up with him because I know how much he hates just the uncontrollable raising and re-raising that I bring to the heads up in shorthanded game. We have 3-4 offsuit from the big blind. There's a small raise. We're going to fold it. 5-7 fold. All right. So just looking out here to play solidly, put in good raises and everything. I got a stack now, so good opportunity to be aggressive, spot aggressive, make moves. But I don't, again, just like I was mentioning when Danny had the big stack, that you don't want to, you don't want to get you don't want to go too nuts here, and start really, calling off things and getting yourself into tough spots. I mean, the same rules apply about putting yourself in tough positions. You still, even with a big stack, you'll still be in tough positions. The goal is to utilize your stack properly to put others in more tough positions more often. Obviously, easier said than done. Easier said than done. For queen offsuit, we're going to fold here. No one at this table so far has gotten particularly out of line. So when it gets folded to me, I'm going to open. I'm going to open pretty wide here. I basically open any two Broadway, any two suit connectors, even one gappers. I'll be able to confidently open if it gets folded around to me so far with this table. Of course, with the idea that if I get played back on, I can release it. So we have 5-6 here. Again, not a good hand. The point here is looking to win the button 1 and to steal the blinds 2. So I want either of those things to happen. Either of those things aren't happening because my calls from the button and we get a second call. And Ryan's with the stop and go. Definitely makes sense here with the stack sizes. It's a good play. We'll let go. And there's a call. Wow. That's crazy. This is crazy. Damn. Alright, we're down to 6-handed now. So 10 queen suited. I'm going to open this again. So another thing is to not get afraid. Like if someone plays back, if someone calls you, don't be afraid of those things. Don't make it like second guess what you're trying to do here. You want, you want to be able to play your game confidently. All right, so duels, check calls us. Makes sense. So he probably has something he wants to see the river with. Maybe he has a weak 10 or a weak king. Interesting. Maybe he has a flush draw. Maybe a weak flush draw. The bet sizing is a little big here. I'm almost inclined possibly to not believe it, but I'm not in a spot to just look up certain bets, so we'll respect it. Check off suit. We're going to let it go. Alright, we get big slick again. Let's see what we can do with this one. Alright, so duels opens. Obviously, we're playing the hand. Do we want to re-raise this, or do we want to smooth call it is a question. Ace King offsuit. We'll smooth call this in position. And then everybody comes along. Kind of. If you're duels and you're trying to thin the field, that's like your absolute nightmare scenario there. And it gets checked around to me, which is good. There's a lot of draws here. A lot of draws. So we want to, people who completely miss this flop, we're going to want to get them out of the hand. The draws we can let stick around. But we win a great pot. That's a huge pot considering it's a huge pot considering we didn't re-raise there in ISO. So we didn't have to risk our chips, and we ended up getting a huge pot with the multiple callers. So that's probably one of the best case scenarios we could have had there. But it's also it's the joy of being able to play that in position. We're on the button. The flop's scary, and you have so many people that could possibly have hit that range. It gets checked around to me, you know, and I'm perfectly fine in that scenario. Just, you know, taking the pot down as it is. It's already up to 3,000 chips. And that was, you know, a third of my stack. So we are pleased to see that one go through. Shout out to everybody watching out there. If you're watching, please click the little heart and follow the little heart up there to follow the channel. Any follows are appreciated. Any chats are appreciated. Any comment, any criticism on the play, anything about me having a fat chubby face, anything you want to say, feel free to chat it up and let me know, because my face is quite round and chubby. Alright, 5-10. Fold. We're down to 12. There's only one fairly short stack. Everyone else is is in a not terribly uncomfortable position. Big blind here, 2-4 offsuit. Just the way this table flow is going, the likelihood of a walk is quite minimal. But it does get folded around to the small blind, duels. He calls, we check it. 4-7 queen, we're going to min bet here. And we take it down. That's one of those positions where min bet's like a good spot there. You got a minimal piece of the flop. If someone does call or play back, I mean, if someone re-raises there, you know, easiest fold ever. Like no one, I shouldn't say no one. There's definitely some people out there that would, but anyone playing back there on a re-raise is anyone willing to get out of line in that sort of situation that doesn't have at least something worthwhile there. That's an impressive, that being impressive re-raise. It's just so, you know, there's just such little likelihood to rebuild the pot or to build a large pot with just two people blind versus blind and you're out of position. It would be overtly aggressive without, you know, with little equity to be that aggressive. All right, duels is all in here. Lost sevens against aces. Aces have shown up quite a bit at this table. And then kings. And then, wow, that's crazy. Yeah, if your duels are just kind of kicking yourself for not letting those sevens go a hand earlier. Would have been able to get there's a whole pile of loot on the cooler. We got 7 king here offsuit. We're going to open it up. Again, the open here is almost specifically just to pick up the blinds. Pick up the blinds and then also let people know we're just, you know, we exist. So we get a call and then we get an immediate bet, which is really kind of weird. So we're going to re-raise because the bet's too small, and we're willing to re-raise here just to show that like bets like that don't knock us out of pots. So we're going to probably get checked back on, and we'll probably get like a free card. And if he min bets again, we just call it and we look for this 4 that we're hoping for. So at least 3 of the 4s and a king will probably allow us to win this pot. A non-spade king. I'm gonna call. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna check back. As jacks. This may be good for us here. May be good for us. Or it may be bad for us. One of the two. So I mean, like, the bet is 10 to 1. It's really weird. I mean, it's not much to just call to see what it is. I mean, it's just interesting. Twos. At least 3-betting on the flop. I mean, for fuck's sake. 3-betting on the flop. I mean, you're going to lead, you're going to min lead, and then I'm going to re-raise, and then you're going to call. Alright. Duels is out here. Here, one. Alright, we got Queen, King, offsuit. We're 5-handed now, so we are. I will let this one go. Oh man, that's funny. 4-8. I'll see. I'm gonna let this one go. Who else is there? Small side? No. K Cogs at the other table is a smaller stack, but he's got 10 bigs, so it's we're not close. We're not particularly close to a final table, unless there's an all-in and a call, and then there is. Then we are close. Raise this up. Again, we're short-handed, so we're going to start ramping up the aggression. It's a final table bubble. That's that means anything money-wise, but psychologically it means a little something. T4 jack here. Not great. I'm going to check it back. I'm going to wait a little bit and then check it back. Queen. Now we will follow up. We will bet the queen here. Also because we have the 10 just in case we get some luck sacking. So we have a bit of equity here. And we're going to want to bet. So now we're at the final table now. Alright, we got 10s. This would have been much better at the previous table, being short-handed. Alright, so we are going to go 1100 to go here. It gets folded around to us. Everyone has a fairly even stack here, so 3 raises should be respected for sure. Alright, so the smallest stack, we're going to open shove here. They called us, so if they have something great here, good. If they have a draw, maybe they'll call the draw, but they folded, we take it down, that's good for us. No reason to get super cute there. There's a flush on board, and if they wanted to go for it with that flush, by all means, I hope they were willing to, play their tourney life for it, but I didn't feel like seeing a heart on the turn and then not being sure how to proceed. We have ace-4 suited, and we will bump the Z-pot up here. Again, everyone has a very similar chip stack, so there's a couple ones at like 15,000, but they're because everyone else's stack is so even, a double up, allowing a double up of anyone else is just not going to be good. I was going to say we have no problems with a walk there after our raise, but we'd be more than willing if the big blind or the small blind were to call and wanted to play it out. We would definitely have a good comfortable position on how to proceed with the next streets. Oh, okay, so like I said, we're at final table. We update the thing. Final table. Final table. Update that then. Let's go. Let's go. We got 2-9 suited. Only action so far is a call. Another call. And we'd love to see a flop with some a duty hand like this, and then have it just like be 9-9 too. Wheels isn't going to let that happen though. Fold. Oh, pocket trays. Let's see. Let's see what we can do here. We don't want to see. Excuse me. We don't want to see too crazy of action here. Flat call's nice. Another flat call would be even better. There we go. Center calls. I will call with my 3-3. And there's a check. And the flop is all high cards. On the right side, this is quite simple for us. We check. Thank you very much, Liverpool32, for following the channel. Much appreciated. And we'll fold. If the board was a little less coordinated, it would definitely be possible to find a call there, but and then smash brawl, jams, and that's a nice chip up. That is a nice way to chip up there. Oh, there we go. So far, my last three hands have been 2-9, 3-3, 2-9. Finding the fold button. Danny B unfortunately does this a lot, especially at final tables and probably shorthanded. Just flat calling from early position is just no bueno here. Too many people are just going to take advantage of it. You're going to see shoves. You're going to see raises and possibly re-raises. So I mean, and it's if you want to play a hand out there, that's fine. But be willing to open the pot with it just to show some strength. I mean, for the amount of equity you would get by maybe trapping by like flat calling, and then someone re-raising, and then you being able to jam like a big premium hand, you lose so much other equity when you raise and then just get everyone to fold, including the blinds. I mean, it's just worth opening up. If you want to play it from early position, open it up and go from there. All right, so I have 7-jack. I have a bunch of doo-doo, but it gets folded around to me, and I am going to open this here. 11:25 to go. So the goal, again, when I make bets like this, there's always two goals here. One, to win the button, and two, to just take down the pot. We get re-raised here, but if nothing else, it's a really easy decision. 7 Jack, we fold here, and we go on to the next one. It's important, when you're at the final table, it's important to, especially when the blinds are starting to get up, to chip up when possible, to to open pots and to try to steal blinds, and to do it in ways that are like not so obvious that you're stealing the blinds, because no one's, if all you do when you're on the button is raise, like every single time, to steal the blinds, people are going to recognize that, and they're going to play back at you. And if you have like a semi-premium, you don't want to get that playback. You want them to either call or get out of there. But you want to, you want to chip up and get some blinds by, raising the spots and trying to take them down before, before you get placed in the obvious spots in the dealer, the hijacked, or the cutoff. And sometimes you'll get called, but that's why you don't do it with super ugly hands. Or if you do it with super ugly hands, you don't do it too often. I'll fold here. You don't want to. You don't want to find yourself just raising all the time, calling all the time. You want to show aggression, but you don't want to show obvious places where you're raising light. So that's why when it gets folded around to you in middle position, a lot of times it's good to to open up with like a 2x or a little more than 2x and just say, hey, we can play from here, and then hopefully you get the folds that you need, and then you pick up the blinds, or or someone in the blind calls you, and then maybe you do hit the flop. But even if you don't, usually the onus is on the defender to hit something, and if the person who defended their flop doesn't hit or doesn't even come close to hitting, even if they hit minimally, they'll usually just check it back to you, and then a C bet usually takes down any pot that the blinds or the defender didn't. It takes down the hand without too much craziness or anything after that. So, even in general, generally speaking, poker in general, you want to be the aggressor. You want to be the one who takes the lead in the pots and determines the price, as opposed to the person who's accepting the price. Because if you're decent at math and you're setting the price, usually you can set a pretty damn good price for yourself, or you can put the max pressure on the other person with regards to the numbers that you're giving them. So while I'm breaking out, we're six of 9, but a double up literally gets us the chip lead. So we are, everyone is close together in chips. No one is running away with it or making any crazy knockouts or chipping up crazily. So yeah, for the most part, most of the people here, I'm not going to call them passive necessarily or super passive, but um, the likelihood of them putting pressure on you with like a 3-bet um, is mostly unlikely. Very unlikely, I would say. Hey, it's Rio. It's Rio, I guess. Thanks for the follow. Much appreciated. Really appreciate you guys checking it out on a Sunday night. Um, Wherever in the world you are, if you're in the chat right now, if you're viewing it, just give a shout to wherever you're at in the world. I'm I'm basically in Washington D.C. in the Washington D.C. area. The time it's just about 11 p.m. on Sunday night. Um, so if you're in Europe or Asia and you're watching this, I appreciate the shout and the view. And we're just hanging out. We're playing a little home game tournament. We're not multi-tabling or anything. We're just kind of chilling and playing it as it goes. But it's not a huge prize up top. Let me check it out. What's it at? First place is $300. We're paying the top 4, so it's just a $35 entry. So trying to take it down just on a relaxing Sunday night, having something to drink. Drinking soda right now. I was never, even while playing live poker, I was never much of an alcohol drinker while playing live. Although I should have, because some of the people playing live I absolutely hated. Just hated looking at their face. If you play live poker enough, there's definitely like certain types of people at the poker table you just look at them and you're just like, why do you have to be like this straight up stereotype of like a poker player? There's always a guy with like the sweatshirt on and like the backpack, disheveled hair. He's got like the headphones in. Doesn't say a word until like some weird play shows up and he's like, oh, and then you have like the old rich guys, and then if there's 2 of them at the same table, they're like, oh hey, that's a nice Georgetown hat. I went to Syracuse. So like, oh lordy. We were under the gun +1. We had Jack Queen offsuit coming out of the break. Definitely decided just to fold here. Just a little too early to act to make an open there confidently. Six, 8 offsuit. We're gonna fold this one. So as you can see right now, I got a little more than 15 bigs, and no one at the table is really showing off like a whole lot of. No one has a big chip stack here, so a lot of moves are going to be able to get through when I feel compelled to. Oh, look at this! Mike Center with a re-raise here. Impressive. We are now in the big line. We have 7-9 offsuit. got a min raise and then dirty hip with the jam. We're definitely, obviously, we're not calling here, but it will be interesting to see what dirty hips plays. We're going to fold. It's interesting to see what Danny may have here. Hey, it's Rio. No, not necessarily just because they're the chip leader. Just a reminder, Warren, of a 5-minute delay. Usually, you can't tell immediately if someone's stealing just because they're a chip leader and they're making certain big blind or certain raise sizings. Mostly, usually you have to at least wait in orbit if you never played with the opponent. Usually you want to wait in orbit or so, or a handful of orbits, to really get the gauge on how light they're going for a blind steal. So really, what ends up happening, what if a person's really if the person's stealing blinds effectively, you won't be able to tell that they're just going for a blind steal, because they'll open the pots and you'll never really see their cards if you're playing it right. All right, so we have Jack Ace offsuit, and we have 2 calls in front of us. This would be a good enough hand to call usually, but we know how Smash Brawl is more than willing as the short stack to jam, and Scott Citrone's ready to jam. So we're going to let go. We're not interested in seeing a jam with Jack Ace. And we're certainly not ready to shove with with 2 players to act and 2 calls behind us. We know Mike Center is historic for playing trap hands and some weird deal. So the best way to check if someone's stealing the pot or you suspect them, you got to look them up every once in a while. You got to put in the 3-bet. Make sure the sizing. So if you're just over betting it, if you're just going 4x, 5x, you're just gonna have to wait because that's just terrible sizing by them. But if they are going 2.5 or 3x the big blind, and you suspect that they're doing it light, put in a raise on them. Doesn't have to be a big raise. It doesn't have to be all in. Doesn't have to, put them in the raise to look them up really quick. So they 3x it, make it, let's say it's 100. They make it 300 to go, and you're like, I don't believe this fool. Make it 7, make it 7-10, but make sure that it's not. Make sure that you know what you're doing that raise for. If you're doing a raise just to put them into, just to let them know hey, you're not going to push me around, then if they if they call your bet, your 3-bet, you're going to have to take stock and kind of know hey, you're going to have to really kind of focus and see how you're going to play the rest of the hand out. And then obviously if they re-raise, you may have to fold it. But if you put in that bet to stop them from stealing a lot, know that you have to be prepared to play the hand if they do call, and to play it cautiously. All right, we got 7 ace from middle position. We're gonna open this up, and we want to just steal here. Like, that's it. We just want to steal here. Maybe Danny calls this, but and then if he calls, maybe we'll see what the flop is, etc., etc. But fold's good here. He shows the ace. We show the ace because we do friendly stuff like that. Okay, so again, we have 6-7. It gets folded around to us. We're in middle position. We just showed that, hey, the blinds did go up, so we're really looking for a steal here, again, from middle position. Again, the sizings are so that, like, really a 3-bet's a no-go here, without basically getting it all in. So we had 6-7. Again, we steal. It's kind of like it's almost like a post. If you play chess and you know the like schools of chess thought, there's this type of chess play called hyper modern, where, like, in the old days you would push the pawns to the middle and you control the middle with your pawns, whereas in the hyper modern method you control the middle with pieces that are far away from the middle but still can move to the middle as needed. And that's kind of where poker has found itself now, and especially online poker. Even people that don't necessarily play online poker a lot, it's a it's a way to steal the blinds without people even really. It doesn't bring the alarm to their head like, hey, that guy's stealing. It really shows them more like, hey, that guy's opening the pot with something okay. Even though we are stealing, it folded to us and we were in middle position. We made it like a little over 2x, and instead of being looked up like, oh man, I'm gonna 3-bet this guy with this bullshit stealing. Instead, we get it to fold through, and it was a steal. So that allows us to chip up in extra spots where other people aren't necessarily chipping up when they can. So next, even when it gets onto the blind, to the button, even when we get to the button or the hijack, we can still make those steal attempts. But it's kind of like we're eating a little extra at the buffet because we're also stealing sometimes from middle position when we're first to act. So in games like this where people are thinking on like a super beyond level, it's a good way to pick up the blinds and to show that to chip up and get some extra chip help when you're just card dead. Two-10 suited, wheels just shoves. Pretty standard move there. Very pivotal moment here. Smash just has just a little too much chips. we'll flat here. We'll see. We'll try to play a flop. If he jams, we're not surprised. And he jammed. But one thing, again, another thing to keep in mind is, did we like that? Obviously not. We wanted to play a flop. We wanted to see things cheaply with 410. But it does set up next time we're in a possible blind versus blind situation. We say, hey, if we say, hey, I got, I have a playable hand. Let's say I have like tens or jacks or something, or AK or ace queen. I can flat again. Person, thinks to themselves, oh, this guy makes the lay down when I shove, and then I pick him off. So that's kind of the plays there. 4-7, Dan called. So yeah, just because you get re-raised or you get looked up, don't always, try to keep an even head about it. But think about how that can help you next time with what you're trying to do. Like, hey, if I just, last time I called the small blind, he shoved. If there comes a situation, we know that's in his book of moves, so we can just flat call with maybe a possible premium and hope he makes a similar move. So of course on our, as far as us going, in a blind versus blind, yeah, I mean, I'm shoving any like any middling hand, any Broadway, 10 jack, 10 queen, 10 king. Like you said, I may get sneaky with a premium because I know he has the shove in his arsenal. But any Broadway, I'll be shoving there, including small pocket pairs also. All of it will get shoved on a blind versus blind. Oh, interesting. Wow. Dan Rivers, the king. Fancy. Fancy, fancy. Alright. We have Jack Queen offsuit from middle position again. We're going to wait a little bit, and then we're going to open it. And we get it through again, which is nice. We need, like I said, we need those to get through. We need those chip ups. Under the gun. Wheels puts in the raise. Let's see what our stats. We're not fans of seeing cards in a small blind. All right, so wheels opened, Mike raise, and it's cooler. Oh my god. Oh, that hurts. That's one of those that just hurts. I mean, and then it four flushes, and then you don't have the four flush card. Oh god. Just tough bananas there. All right, so we have 6-8 suited here, and for the love of God, we still need to chip up because we're not getting premiums like the AAA or the KK like these other guys are seeing. And we're definitely not seeing cards in like spots we'd love to see them, like in the blind or in late position. Alright, so Scott 3-bets us. Again, it's an easy fold. But we like to Hollywood. We don't like to let them know that we're fooling around here. Oh. Alright, 8-10 suited, under the gun. Not going to work for us. On the bright side, when the blinds start to go up, we have a really nice shovable stack, and we can really put some pressure when we decide to shove here. We have 4-10 suited. So we have two calls. We have 5,400 in the middle. So basically, it's 6-1 for a call here. I mean, we have potential for a stop and go. If we get the 4 flush or we pair here. We're already in this big blind. Small blind will go by, so we'll have some position. All right, let's call this. We'll shove. Now, if someone has a 3, I mean, God bless them. God bless them. But, yeah. Take it down. We had the 10. And we chipped up nicely. That was a pure, again, stop and go. Just because of the positions of, just because of the chip stacks in the positions, stop and go makes sense there. 2x, the call really makes it a good spot for us to stop and go there. As soon as he called, we had 4-10 suited. Usually not particularly good, but we were going 6-1. We flop a 10. Yeah, if someone has a 3 there, you know, it sucks for us, but you know, the likelihood of 3s just showing up in spots like that aren't very likely. And even if there is a 3, I mean, we would still have we would have miracle outs to the 10 getting there, but you know, you gotta be willing to risk your stack in these spots. So Dan's like hasn't raised at all tournament, and then he just puts in a raise. I don't a min raise at that. We know 5s he wouldn't raise. That feels like 10s or jacks or something. Alright, so dirty hip is a short stack. It opens all in. We're going to fold 2-7. Gets folded to us. We are going to bump it. We have 210. So basically we have a bunch of nothing. Goal here is to steal. And we get to raise all in behind us. Nine king suited. We are going to raise this as well. I was gonna say if dirty hit were to jam, we probably call there. We don't like it. We don't like it, but you know. All right, so we have fives here. We're gonna raise this again. If for nothing else, again, because of the equity, the blinds and the antes are so big here, we want the fold equity of taking it down with fives. And smash re-raises again behind us. Oh, God. You know. Now we're in a tough spot. Oh, man. So, the thing is, getting the rest of the chips in, I mean, it gives us, basically, it gives us a huge stack to work with to win. But it's just enough to cripple us if we don't. Oh, God. And we get it through. That's good. Now we are in a good position to start being more aggressive. So we're paying 4. We're in the chip leader now. Paying 4. So again, it was a gamble. You can't pretend that you can't gamble at a final table. It's just, we'd all love to find spots where we just cooler an opponent, but I'm trying to win this tournament, and if you're trying to win, you just got to pick spots um, where it's going to be close calls. We have 4 king. It's blind versus blind. We'll check. We'll min bet. Again, that's a move I like to use, especially when a small blind shows a lot of weakness. We check, they check back to us, and then we just min bet. I mean, it's the best case scenario. Usually, I'd say when that happens, like 90% of the time, we take it down. But if someone plays back, you only risk, the minimum. All right, so Danny, all in, dirty hip, calls. Dirty hip takes it down. Bless you.
Are you still live streaming? Are there any viewers?
Yeah, there's 2. There's people. We got people chatting and everything.
What are they saying?
we've had 2 new followers today too. We're just talking about poker. Yeah. All right. So center raises it up. He has the 8s.
Is A-Rod viewing?
Was there anything in there? No, A-Rod's asleep.
Probably bad. Tired about.
All right, I've got A6.
How much are you buying for?
$300 for first. All right, A6 suited. Middle position. We're gonna raise it up. Goes through. Blinds. Oh, this is a good spot for us to be in. There's gonna be some payout pressure real soon. With payout pressure. So this is going to allow me to raise it up quite a bit often here. And like I said earlier in the stream, when you have the big stack early, you don't want to, you don't want to, play dramatically different because you're so far from the final table. You're so far from the money. But now we are right there near the money, and we can apply a ton of pressure because of the stack size. So, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these 5. So even BA wheels isn't completely out of the woods, but there's basically 5 stacks that have 10 big blinds, and there's antes also, so it's even, it's even possibly less than that, but we can start to really apply some pressure here in various spots. So this is, so as a poker player, like these are spots you really want to, and you can't, you need to make sure you don't take it, that you don't not exploit them. You need to make sure you take advantage and you exploit them, and you get what you know, you have the chip lead. Um, it's your, it's definitely within your realm of possibilities to extend that chip lead and to exert the pressure and to build up your chip stack so that when it does get to the better paying spots, that you're well chipped up. You take advantage of everyone's, nervousness trying to coast into money. Take advantage of that, and and make sure, and make sure you can you start chipping up nicely. All right, so we have raise, now we have re-raise all in from center. So, Wheels is feeling that same pressure too, because he has his stack and center stack are just enough to really, enforce some discomfort there. So it's very important to understand the dynamics of the, of final tables and stack sizing. What they refer to it as, like, as ICM poker. Um, but it's very important to understand maneuvering when the blinds are significant up there. It's very important to understand um, those maneuvers. All right, so we have Queens versus Jack King. Oh, look at that! That's sexy. We would add the straight. I said on yesterday's broadcast, or 2 days ago, how much I hated, like, people that are just um, that are like, oh man, I had the ace in a pot they had no chance of showing up in. Fold that. Dirty hip is too likely just to go all in, and 2-5 suited is not what you want to show up with an all in on. Dan is no longer sitting out. So things are a little different now. So before we were kind of just in full-blown steal mode with very little possibility of having to turn our cards face up. But Dirty Hip is now basically is below five bigs, and is likely to go all in anytime soon. So we probably actually want to show up with a hand that's not terrible. So we'll see. And Wheels has aces, so there's that. Wow. And the blinds are going up. Again, the blinds are going up. K pressure is going up. Blinds are going to start circling the table real soon, a lot quicker, being more short-handed. So, so now we have basically we have two players we have four players kind of on the fringe here. Alright, center is right there. He's going to raise it up. We'll let center go. So two shorties fold. Wheels is there. Center shoves. It's a good shove, definitely. It's a good way to chip up. So, I mean, whether center has something, probably has a little something, but even with like a weak something, ooh, it's a good shove. Interesting. Let's see. Alright, Dan has queens. Queens are good. It's a big double up. Big old double up. And look at that double up. Suddenly he's out from, he's not too far out of the money. Suddenly he was like low stack. Now he's, right there in it. Alright, so we have 10-2 offsuit. Looking to steal here. Again, that actually, that doesn't necessarily hurt me because now I can again start to reapply pressure with some stacks. With the stack sizes being so like equal, can really start to turn the screws here. Really start to turn the screws here. Important every once in a while, you gotta let you gotta let the other guys play. Gotta let the other guys open pots and shove all in and all that good stuff. Can't just go frolicking all around raising every single solitary pot. You can raise most, but you don't want to just be inviting 3-bets, that you can't call or that you shouldn't call. You don't want to do this. You want to do it smartly so that you raise and that you don't put yourself in a junky spot where you have to, where the sizing ends up making you call off stupid garbage, against one of the smaller stacks. Good for us. Yeah. Alright, so wheels opened. We had ace king, easy shove back. We could have gotten cute. We weren't interested in getting cute. If he had something, you know, it's more than good enough to call there. All right, Dan called. Again, Dan's calling way too much. Way too much. Out of position, like out of in an early position, too many calls. It's just too easy for someone back here just to jam all in and just take your big blind. You just throw it's just throwing chips in the fire. All right, so I have 10 king here. Oh man, center beats me to the shove. Good for him. All right, we're gonna raise this up. And if Danny calls behind, I mean, if he raises all in, we'll call behind. Doesn't call. We don't have to. We don't have to show our 8-jack. We don't have to turn it over. And we go on to the next one. Ten ace against king ace. What's going to happen? Ace king gets to hold. Scott is out. Queen 9, probably good enough to call a shove. From the short stack, that is. Not to call other shoves, but good enough to call a short stack shove. And we get a walk. Always fun. Always fun to get the walk. Alright, so the 2 Dans at the top. Again, you're going to start to see payout pressure, so center and the 2 Dans are going to be pressured here. Center goes for a jam, and like you gotta. And you really got to call almost anything here. I mean, that's pretty silly. It's pretty. And this is a worst case scenario for the 3 short stacks. So the blinds are up after this hand. Well, gents, if you time bank long enough, possibly you can snipe the stream. Real talk. Possibly you'll be able to see Jack Queen. But no, not this time. We are maximizing les pressure, as they would say in France. I'm gonna bump this up. We'll we'll definitely fold to any pushback. Tip our cap. The goal, though, is just to absolutely get away with murder here as we chip up. And then hopefully, like here, we run into a hand. We don't have to lie. We don't have to bluff. We just get it in with eights or something. And we get the walk anyway. Good for us. Deuces. Alright, we're going to flat call this. Again, that payoff pressure. We have twos. You can't make the play. You don't want to make the play. You don't want to make the play. Like I said, we're in a really good spot here. Really good spot to really just start taking down pots here. Get some ducks again. Get some ducks again. I want to fold him. I honestly have no interest in doubling him up. I mean, folding that big blind will allow me to just keep on scooping up other big blinds. You know, I think center is shoving more so because he's tired and he probably needs to go to bed, as opposed to necessarily playing aggressive. But it's working. It's working well for him. I don't think he's a big fan of having to go to sleep past midnight tonight, and then he's hosting tomorrow's maybe not. But tomorrow's game will probably go, and then there's a break. All right, guys, I'm going to just get some ice water really quick, and I'll use the bathroom, and I'll be back. All right, all right, all right. We got 2 minutes. We got 5 left. They paid 4, so we are applying maximum. So we're squeezing everybody with the payout pressure. No one is interested in bubbling here. So us, me, full screen webcam, me, the pie guy as a chip leader, we are doing everything in our power to exploit that advantage. We are opening pots. We are raining some ICM advantages in our direction, and we are making sure everyone is being put in the most painful positions as possible to make it in money. So here we go. $28.75 right on out of break. We get it through, and we are, like I said, we are chipping on up. Chipping on up. Center gets to walk. I said the W word, and the dogs came me, perked their ears up. They're like, 6-9, not good enough. Definitely not good enough. If it gets folded around to me, I'm gonna just shove. Again, it's all payout pressure oriented, unless he just wakes up with like a really good premium. You know, you're folding basically. You're folding a whole array of hands here. Oh, he does find the card. He has aces. Oh man, are we gonna bust him with a 9 here? Oh, that'd be terrible. Hand's got 6,200 left. Fold here is really nitty. Alright, we're going all in here anyway. We got 2 overs. No reason to fold. No reason to fold here. Ace King is probably the worst hand we could have looked at. River's a queen. I mean, the reality is you just got to get it all in there. That's kind of the problem. Again, that's the problem if you're not chipping up, if you're not if you're not keeping your stack a reasonable size, you leave yourself wide open to really ugly garbage beats. Because you know, like, you know, what am I going to fold, like 2 big blinds there? I can't do that. I have 2 overs on the board.
Are there still viewers?
Yes, there's still at least one viewer out there looking at me, looking at my chubby face. We had 2 calls here. We raised, we had 2 calls, we flopped top pair, and we get it through. Shipping on up. We're over 60K now. And now we have a good stack to play, because now we're in the money, but there's
Come on. Yay. Right here.
we are, like I said, we're in the money, but there's still a super close toss-up for second place. We'll raise here. Chipping on up. Chipping on up. Like a shove. Oh man. Center with the jam. Coin flip. Ooh, and there's a 5 in the flop. That is it for Sunday's night. Good game, center. We're down to 3. I have Jack 5. Oh man, my shoulders. Ow, ow, ow. Oh, my neck, my shoulders, my head. chubby face. Ugh. Alright, hey, I have queens. Good stuff. See if I can get some play now. Kind of a weird raise out of nowhere. Let's just end the tournament right here. Here we go. Queen, I need... Ah. Alright, here we go. Heads up. Let's see. Let's see how my heads up prowess is. Oh, man. Oh, man. Okay. So we came to a deal, mainly because I'm tired. And I know Danny would have been more than willing to get it all in, so it probably would have been a toss-up. Um, the blinds were large, so we just did a 1-2 first place split, which is 260 apiece, which is good. Makes me happy. So considering that was a unscheduled tournament to make some chunky profit off of it, it's really nice. Got some good material on the on the live stream. It started off pretty straightforward. We chipped up. We had a couple good hands early going. Nothing crazy. I'd say the only nervous spot I was in was when I called the fives all in to the against ace queen. That was a really close call, and that was basically a make or break. Because I knew if I could get that call, I'd be able to and win that hand. I'd be able to really take advantage of having a larger chip stack. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened, which was very, very nice for us. Again, if you're feeling like you're getting to the final table, or you're getting to, you're getting in the money, but you're not being first or second, make sure you understand how play goes on the bubble, and when it gets shorthanded and bubble, ramp up the aggression, because a lot of people are going to be waiting for the bubble to burst, and it's a good spot to chip up, especially if you already have chips. You can take advantage of people tightening up, and you can open a lot of hands, and then in turn you can chip up. I busted Mr. Dan Bishop on a hand where, I mean, we probably should have got it all the way pre-flop, but the reality is, in spots like that, when you chip down so bad, what ends up happening is you don't have any chance to create equity for yourself. So you can't, basically what that means is you can't get people to fold when you have such a small stack. So they end up calling you, and a lot of times they'll call you from behind, and they'll get there. And then even if you do so happen to double up or chip up by winning that hand, you're still in a perilous position to try and gain another spot and gain more chips. But good go tonight. We were in for 35. We're out for 260. We get to update our little poker results there at the bottom with our new win, and we should be on tomorrow. There should be another $40 tournament, and hope to see you guys then. I should be streaming starting at 8 p.m. I would say tomorrow, but it's not today. It's now after midnight. So if you're watching still, thank you, and have a good night. Talk to you later.